Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Destiny from Desfix and welcome back to another video here in the channel. In this one, we'll get started working with profile updates using React.js. That is what we'll be doing. Hopefully you will enjoy the video and learn something new. So let's get started. Begin by opening up your code editor and come over to profile.jsx. We've done this a lot of times in other tutorials, but don't worry, I'm not going to copy code and paste. I'm going to do it again because updating profile is one of the complex things that we actually do here. Every other thing that we've been doing so far has been pretty much making calls to APIs and getting data. But for this one, we actually need to do a couple of things, and I'm going to show you guys. So we can start off by importing all the things that we have over here into the profile so that it's up to date. There you go. And I also think I need the user ID. So please go ahead, import the user ID also down here. So now let's create states that will store the profile information. I'm going to call this one profile data and set profile data. This should be equal to use state. And what do I want to do over here? I'm going to say image, then pass in null. By default, images should be null. Full name, pass in an empty string. About, pass in an empty string. You can then go ahead and duplicate this. Okay, so about, then I need bio. Let me also take a look at this. Full name, bio, about, and country. So full name, bio, about, and country. Good. An image, yeah. Okay, so when you have all this, that is pretty much everything that you need. Now I need another state that will help us preview images. So image preview, and there is something that I've gotten a lot of requests for that I should do. So a lot of you guys have actually sent me requests saying, hey, can you actually create this feature where when you select an image, let me go ahead and select, and let's say I selected this image, and instead of it just showing up over here, let's immediately preview the image down here. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that right now. So set image preview, good, that is what I wanted. And for now, that is pretty much it. Let's go ahead and make a call to the API to fetch the profile data that already exists in the database. So fetch profile, and what do we want to do then? I will say API instance dot get, and I want to make a call to user slash profile slash. Then I want you to pass in the user underscore ID slash. Good. So this is another way of doing this, guys. I want to show you guys. So you could say dot then pass in your response, and then you could go ahead and set profile data to res.data. So if you take a close look, you see that this is actually a new way that we used to fetch data from the API. This is what we've been doing previously, right? We create a new variable called response and make the call, then get response.data. But if you don't want to do all this, if you don't want to create all those comments and do all this, you could just say dot then pass in res like this, and then pass in your code over there like this, and it still works perfectly well. It's exactly the same thing, just different way of doing it. Okay, but then instead of passing in comment res, you should now say, or you could even just take comment res and put it over here. So guys, there are just a lot of ways that you could use to do this. Okay, so this is one thing that I wanted to show you guys over here, another way of making calls. All right, so when you have done this, if it confuses you, please go ahead and stick with what we had before, which is creating a response like this, then saying response.data, which means we have to now remove the then, okay, and then do it this way. I hope it makes sense. I hope it's not confusing. Okay, so when you have done this, that is pretty much it. Let's go ahead and use the use effect hook. Use the use effect hook to call the fetch profile. And please do not forget the empty dependency array. Okay, and after you've passed that in, that is pretty much it. Now you could go ahead and see the informations. Let me log profile data just to see what we are getting. Why is it showing undefined? We're actually making a call to the API correctly, but we're seeing undefined over here. I'm gonna hop over to the header.js real quick, just to comment out something that has been, comment this out, okay? So right now we can see the objects being logged, but the informations in there seems to be null. So what's going on? Let's see the response that we get from here. Full name is destined here, so at least full name needs to be prefilled, and also image needs to be prefilled, but seems that is not the case here. So I'm gonna get back to my code, get back to profile, and set profile data response.data. Let me firstly log response.data, guys, so we see what we are getting. So log response.data. It's returning undefined, and over here it's showing. Okay, let me log out and log in again real quick. So I want to log out and log in again. Good. And I want to come over to my profile. It seems like we are not actually appending any data here. So let me log full profile data.full name. Let's see. All right, there is no full name there, so think it's not returning it. So let's see what's going on. All right, so since these are not still working as expected, I'm thinking we need to actually await this response by making it an async function, and also passing this in a try catch. Okay, and paste that, and let's see. Oh, there you go. Can you see it's now coming in? That's perfect. So now what we could do is change up the informations, like this image over here. Instead of this, you can now say profile data dot image, and then you can see the image. That's good. Then also for the name, let's change up the name. Inputs, what is your full name? You could add in the value of this to be profile data dot full underscore name. Then there you go. That's destiny over there. Dot full name, or if there is no full name, you can leave it as empty string. Okay, just to manage when we don't have a full name added over there. And also we do the same thing for bio, about, and country. So you could take this value over here and put it for the bio also. So this should be bio, but I don't think we have anything in the bio. So you see, it's empty. It's null, so you don't see anything over there. And also we do this for the about. This should be about, and I don't even think we have anything there also. And finally for the country, there you go. So what country are you from? That's everything that I want. So now let's start off with the very first thing, which is selecting of an image. So to select an image, we need a way to handle the file change. So file change is whenever we click on this to select an image and an image gets selected. That is file change. So to handle file change, create a new handle file change function. And what do you want to do? Firstly, obviously, we need to pass an event in here because we'll be interacting with an input, and we need the event to grab the value or the file of the file that was appended to this input. Okay, so after this, what do we do? Let's go ahead and define a variable called selected file, and we set this to event selected file event dot target dot files. Please join this together. Okay, they are together. And for the files, grab the very first item that's in the list. Okay, so after you've done this, now I want you to go ahead and set profile data to profile data. That's a spread operator. I believe I've explained this. And I'm going to say event dot target dot name, and what do we want to pass in here? Selected file. So what we pretty much do is we'll call this handle file change on an input, the input for selecting the file, and we'll pass in the name of the input to be file, which means as soon as we select a new file, we switch up the set profile data image over here from null to having whatever image that we have selected. Okay, so when you have done this, that is step one. Below it, I'm gonna say const reader should be equal to a new file reader object. Okay, and I'm gonna say reader dot unload should be equal to a parenthesis over there, pretty much a function. Then I want to set the image preview state to reader dot result. Okay, so now we need to also check for something. If selected file exists, then what do I want to do? Let's say reader dot read as data URL should be selected file. Then save this. So right now for the handle file change, if we take that function and scroll all the way to where we have the inputs for selecting an image, and we'll pretty much pass in a name of image, and then we'll pass in on change of handle file change, it's going to show the image. So over here where we have the image source, I'm going to say, instead of this profile data, firstly, if image preview exists, we show the image preview. If it doesn't exist, that's only when I want to show the profile data. And this is quite simple because it means that if a user has selected a new image, show that new image. But if a user has not selected any image, leave the profile data image as it is. Simple. So now let's test this out and see what we have. I'm going to select a new image like this one, and there you go. Can you see? It's working as expected. So that is pretty much it for the first one. Now let's go ahead and create a function that will update the profile. So I'm going to say const handle form submit. So we handle form submit. What we just need to do is go ahead, make it an async function. That should be braces. Okay, so in here we do a couple of things. Firstly, let's say e.prevent default. That is if this is in a form. If it's not in the form, there is no need for e.prevent default. The very first thing I want to do is say const res should be equal to, res pretty much stands for response. Okay, should be equal to await API instance dot get. So I want to get the user information again, just inside this function. And this is going to be user underscore ID, just like this. Okay. Then what I want to do now is go ahead and create a new form data object. So this should be form data. So whenever you're passing in data to the backend and an image will be included, it's highly recommended that you pass this in a form data. Now I want to check for something. I want to see if profile data dot image exists and profile data dot image is not equal to res dot data dot image. This makes a lot of sense, because what this is going to do is, as soon as we select a new image here, immediately the profile data image changes to this one. Now what we are checking is if the profile data image is not the same as the image that exists in the database, then that means a new image is coming in. That is only when we want to go ahead and append the form data dot append and image. Then we pass in profile data dot image. So I got a comment the other day for an error that said file that was selected was not an image. So this is what's causing the issue. You first need to check if the image exists and if a new one is coming in. So after all this, let's go ahead and append the informations to the form data. Full name. Then I'll duplicate this in 5 places and change it up. About, then country. So full name, about, country, bio. Then remove this one. Good. So when we have this now, let's go ahead and pass in a try catch, send this to the back end. So I'm gonna log error. Then in here, what I want to do is say const res should be equal to, I'm gonna await API instance again, await API instance dot patch. So why are we patching? Because we're trying to update user slash profile slash user ID. Okay, and what else do we need to pass in here? Form data. Very good. And since we are sending an image, please always remember that you need to pass in headers. Okay, so this is one of the things that if you miss it, you might actually have an issue with updating images. So pass in multi-part slash form data. Okay, this is everything that I want. Now over here, let's go ahead and toast T success, and then I'm gonna pass in profile updated successfully. Very good. So then let's go ahead, and if you want to fetch profile again, that one is totally up to you, but this is everything that I want to do for now. Okay, so all we need to do now is go ahead, take the handle file change. Do I even have handle? I don't think I have handle. I don't have handle profile change. Yes, that is very important. So guys, down here, let's create a new handle profile change. So handle profile change is just like the file change, but instead for things like texts and not files. Okay, so passing an E over there. And what do we want to do? Let's go ahead and set profile data dots. I'm going to pass in the profile data, and here I say events dot target dot name. And what do I want to pass in there? Pretty much events dot target dot value. Very, very good. So when you have done this, please, if you're using an E over here, it should be events. If you're using an event, it should be events. If you're using an E, it should be E. Okay, so that we don't have this error. All right, so when we have done this, that is pretty much everything that we want to do. So now let's scroll down to where we have this input, starting with the full name. This will be on change of this. Then I want to call the handle handle profile change, and it needs a name. Name should be full name. Compulsorily, it should be called full name. Okay, now I want you to do the same thing for this other inputs, which is for the bio. Yes, so name should be bio. And finally, for the country, okay, this one is about. Yeah, let's do it for about. And finally for country. And for this button over here, I'm gonna say on click of this button, pass in the handle form submit. Save your code and let's see what we have. So with all this now, Destiny, bio, UI designer, tell us about me, motivated. Okay, why is it not typing anything in there? That is because, firstly, let's make the value over here. Okay, I already have value, guys. All right, I have two names here. Please remove one. So let's look out for all this. Let's see. There you go. So motivated software engineer, software developer, even web developer. Okay, then write me a catchy title, UI designer, country Nigeria or Afghan. Then I'm gonna update. But you see, it's refreshing the page. That means I need to remove it from the form. Change this form over here to a div. Okay, so that it doesn't refresh the page. Change the button type to button. So let's try this again. Updates. Profile updated successfully. Very good. Let's choose an image. Updates. All right, we seem to be having an issue with updating when there is an image. There is a bad request. So let's see what's going on. Open up the network, try to update again. The submitted file was not a data. Okay, this was the error that I was telling you guys about. So now let's fix this. Okay, let's fix this. So the very first thing that comes to mind is logging the profile data.image. So let's log profile data dot image and let's see what we have. Over here you can see this is not showing up anything. So okay, yeah, it's not going to show up anything until we click on this. So click, this is what we have now, right? Which means this is the image that we have. So it's not going to update. But when we select something new and hit update, where is the image? So see what's coming in now. See, this is what's coming in place of the image. But why is it showing that that it's not a file? I also want to log image preview. Let's just see what we have. Okay, let's see. I'm going to reload this page. So I had to look at this code, and one thing that I can quickly pinpoint is that this header is not actually being sent because it's called header and not headers. So let's try uploading a new image again. I'm going to upload this one and update. There you go. Profile updated successfully. Now let's refresh and image should still be there. Congratulations, we are done updating the profile. I knew that this was going to work, but there was a typographical error here with S. Okay, so that was what broke the program. Now that is pretty much it. If there is something that you don't understand, let me know in the comment section below and I will be happy to help you out. I hope to see you in the next video, and until then, much love, peace out.